People of Earth, good evening. Welcome to this edition 90 of Nation News. 10 to go to the 100. It is marking a very important event in the history of the star system, and I have to say also in my life. In this edition, I will share with you my trip to planet Mars and my physical encounter on board the ship with the interstellar visitor 3I Atlas. For once and for all, wipe out all the misconceptions and all the fantasies out there. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts, for I am bringing you with me to the orbit of Mars to meet someone very ancient. Engage. It is impossible for civilians to go to Mars. Actually, Mars is under the protectorate of the Earth Alliance, which is the alliance of the Earth positive military, such as mainly the US Navy, and the forces of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, looking after rebuilding Mars, re-terraforming it to its original biosphere, its original atmospheric composition, its forests, vegetations, lakes, rivers, and seas. The terraforming process is in the making, and the pictures you are shown from Mars are not always corresponding to reality. What can you see? What can you know? When you look at Mars, even with your amateur telescope, what you can see is a small, tiny, red, bright star, looking like star. You cannot see anything of the valleys, the green patches, the rivers reforming. You cannot see anything of it. Only if you go to Mars. And civilians are not allowed for the moment unless you are a military or a diplomat from Earth. I thought I would never go to Mars, of course, in my lifetime until the Great Contact event. But this gift was granted to me by somebody who has a perfect, universal diplomatic clearance. I could meet there with my old friend Jen Han, and we went for a visit on 3I Atlas that was 30 million kilometers from Mars. Not very far in astronomical units, but quite a comfortable distance. In the video you're about to see, 20-minute video, you will be taken with me on board EA's shuttle, Royal Golden Shuttle, to Mars. And I have to say, it's a golden shuttle, it's the Imperial shuttle. It's all made with solid gold as one piece. It is really beautiful, and the frequency on board this shuttle is phenomenal. So without further ado, here is the account of my visit to 3I Atlas with a little jump from Mars in the night of October 3rd to October 4. After this video, NASA put up posts of photos of 3I Atlas that looked exactly how I described it, a cylinder ship. And also was detected a little tiny dots following it. So fasten your seatbelt. This is going to blow your mind. We are today, October 4th, 2025. I was taken last night, invited, more precisely, by my old friend Ia, an Prince and the Galactic diplomat. I wished to see up close, personally, the interstellar object 3I Atlas, that is currently the closest of the planet Mars, 30 million kilometers from the surface of Mars. This can seem a long, long way to you, but in astronomical measure, it's very close. 3I Atlas can be today, as I'm speaking to you, observed naked eye from the surface of planet Mars. Agreeing to my request, I was picked up by Ia's shuttle from the Nibiru ship that is actually parked in the upper atmosphere of Jupiter, not very far from Mars. It takes a very short time for a shuttle to come to Earth, pick me up, and bring me to Mars. I had never, ever been to Mars, and I couldn't hope to go there in my whole lifetime here until, of course, things change. Because Mars is under the surveillance of the Earth Alliance, and I am civilian. I am not a military, so I do not have clearance. I would have clearance if Mars was under the supervision of Galactic Federation of Worlds, with which organization I am working. Prince Ia has diplomatic immunity and clearance for pretty much everywhere in this galaxy. So it wasn't a problem for him to bring me physically to Mars. What a surprise! I was so excited. As we approached the surface of Mars, and I've seen it closer than I could ever hope, I realized that there were greeneries. Mars is not as red, completely red, as you are shown by NASA. There is more and more green patches growing, and there is an atmosphere that is breathable with a little apparatus that allow humans of Earth to really adapt. Nearly breathable. But there is a terraforming going on. And my dear friend Jen-Han Eredion, little younger brother to my contact Thorhan Eredion, is working there. He's a Pleiadian terraformer. They call themselves star makers. And I have been communicating with him for 3 years now, more than 3 years, as part of a scientific exchange with Dan Willis about the science of crystals and the nature of the universe. I was very excited to approach the surface of Mars, and my hopes, my wishes, my dream to one day set foot on the surface of Mars was granted by Ia. We had to go through a clearance. I could hear at the intercom in the ship, in the shuttle, voices, human voices of men coming from Mars, talking in English and asking Ia his clearance to approach Mars and who was on board. Ia was very firm, said who he was, and said that any of his guests benefit of his diplomatic clearance. So they agreed. Of course, they wanted to know who I am, and Ia had the last word, because I was benefiting of his diplomatic clearance and immunity. So of course we were monitored, this is for sure. Of course everybody knows about it now, this is for sure. We arrived at Jen-Han's dwelling on Mars, a small domed house near a complex where there are biodomes, where terraforming is studied. And Jen-Han explained all of this in the com log that Dan Willis kindly uploaded on his website, thewebmatrix.net. I was beyond excited, beyond thrilled to set foot on Mars. In a cloud of red dust, the shuttle landed. Jenan, whom I had contacted through my implant, was also so excited to welcome me to Tyr. We wore apparatus, that means helmets, transparent. Ia put a kind of, was it latex or a material that really espoused perfectly my shoulders. And then from it, a bubble, a kind of a transparent helmet grew like, and with golden devices, I would say that, in the neck. And this was regulating the atmospheric pressure for me and the breathing. So we could get out. It was very cold. So we didn't stay really outside. We went from the shuttle directly inside of Janan's house, and the dialogue closed behind us. And then we could remove our apparatus, breathing apparatus, and breathe inside of Janan's house, which is pressurized and at atmospheric and temperature condition. Janhan was beyond excited to welcome me here, and you cannot even imagine in what state I was. The gravity is lighter there, so it was weird as well as a sensation, but once in the house of Janhan, the gravity was leveled to Pleiadian standards, which is Galactic Federation standards, and it suits humans. And also 2 girls were there. One black hair, and one blonde hair, and they were Janan's age, and they were his colleagues. The brown hair lady, nicknamed Tem, was from planet Temer in the Taygeta star system, Ashara. And the other one, Tahura, was from Silo. She was an Alpha Centaurian. So they were like bowing in front of Prince Ia. What a privilege. The girls were nearly crying. It was amazing. Ia is very tall, so he is always impressive. And after everything went into balance and like stand up, it's okay. A protocol, these people have been trained to protocols. So until the person with a superior rank says stand up or stop this, they are obliged to do it. It's a protocol. It's diplomatic, and that's it. So Jenna and I hugged, and it was so nice. Usually we are meeting on the Excelsior, the XLR6 station where Thoron works, the orbit of Earth, but this one, it was special. So after a short conversation, we all got back to Ia's shuttle. Myself, Janan, and the 2 girls, who were beyond excited. They were lucky that day. So we took off and went to meet the orbit, or the trajectory, of 3i Atlas. Beyond exciting. And when we arrived closer, we could really see the elongated shape. And it is not pointing at the sun as all comets do. It was pointing towards its trajectory, not towards the sun is here, and 3i Atlas does that. So it was not doing like every comet like this. It was, let me take a pen. So the sun and any comets would do that. Okay? 3i Atlas, no, 3i Atlas does that. It's a ship, of course. So I may remind you what is really 3i Atlas. It is called an explorer, and it is a plasmic consciousness inhabited an empty vessel, which is a rock carved, that could welcome a crew, but it is so old that no crew has ever been there for billions of years. It is older than this star system. these plasmic consciousnesses that are out of linear time, are exploring the galaxy and other galaxies. They also travel into intergalactic medium to gain information and enrich themselves with data information on other culture, and their purpose is curiosity and gaining knowledge. They are very wise and old beings, of course wise because of all the knowledge they have recorded and archived from all the worlds and the cultures they've been visiting since an amount of time that defies your imagination. Because, of course, linear time is not the norm everywhere else when you step out of gravity. So we approach this unmanned. Unmanned means with no biological being on board, no physical, biological being or creature, whatever, on board. The ship is biologically empty. Now, it is inhabited by a plasmic consciousness that has no physical body. It is benevolent, and it is curious and respectful of the greater laws of evolution, which are based on non-intervention. It will analyze, record anything it can record, and go. Bye-bye. Forever. They never come twice in the same star system unless they have a purpose. They explore. That's why they are called the explorers. It is pacifist. It has no intention of intervening in anything, nor any nonsense you hear about activation, awakening, nothing. They are not intervening in any civilization, in no evolution of civilizations they are encountering. They are respectful and honoring the greater laws of evolution. The Galactic Federation of Worlds calls it the Prime Directive. The Anahim call it the Dayakura. And many other cultures give it their name, but we may talk about it as the greater laws of evolution. As we approached the object, the being, it interacted with us, with our consciousness, and first with Ea, of course. They acknowledged their grandeur, wisdom, ancientness. Ea is an immortal, so it resonated a lot with the consciousness of 3i Atlas. It has no name. Why is it called 3i Atlas? It's a third interstellar object, so seen first by a telescope named Atlas, and that's all. It has no name. So we call it our explorer visitor. The shuttle positioned itself parallel on the top, a little bit behind of 3i Atlas. And we stayed there. We could see all the little windows switched off black because it's empty, square windows. The roughness of the rock, but not that much. It's really a cylinder. It has the external aspect of carved in rock, roughly, but you really see perfect cylinder. You see it's not natural. That's what I mean. It's been engineered, carved. And we stayed there, communicating with it. We received a feeling of sacredness, privileged communication, being out of time, suddenly connecting with this being's consciousness. We felt jumping into the time field and not being here and there in that shuttle. We were all connected, interfaced with him. The feeling was a feeling of peace, sensation of serenity, eternal, infinite, interconnected serenity. Jen Han had the message. He received it. Not here, not me, not the girls. Jen Han. He was crying because the being addressed directly to him. And the being said to him only this. What I'm going to share, it's one sentence. But as Jen Han transcribed how he perceived it, this meant a lot of things on different levels. The sentence, the message Jen Han received from the being was, I come in peace. This means on different levels that he is really coming in peace, not to interact with anyone, anybody, any culture, observe and go. Not interact. He is a bringer of peace because it's so powerful. He's so radiating with peace and wisdom and ancientness that he is impregnating the whole solar system on its trajectory with the vibration of peace. Peace. Awakening the feeling of peace in all beings' consciousness on this path. He will soon leave the proximity of Mars to continue its trajectory towards behind the sun, where we will be end of October, 30th of October, and then go on the other side, be close to Venus. So I may have other data at that moment. Why he is going behind the sun that close? Because these beings feed with frill, and with the frill generated by the gravitational field of the stars, which are very powerful. The radiation emitted by stars is generating frill by activating the particles of ether around them. So the frill at the proximity of stars is very, very strong and does a lot. So he's going to feed off that. It's going to last him until the next star system. And then he is going to regenerate and rejuvenate and restore his energy. We are very privileged to receive the visit of an explorer. After we stayed a while with him, we bid goodbye. Very respectfully, we detached the quantum link of our consciousnesses, and the shuttle left. We went back to Mars, dropped Jen Han and the girls, and took off, where Ia brought me back to Earth. When I arrived, it was 4:45 in the morning where I live, so I left the narrative of this adventure experience to the following day, which is today, October 4th. I hope you enjoyed my testimony, my experience, and I will share with you much more as time goes, because we are living extraordinary time. I learned the following day that on the night from the 3rd to the 4th of October, NASA's live feed from the rovers was interrupted by a government act. Censored. How incredible and weird was that? The following day, the vetted photos from the Mars rovers gave out this. Of course, everybody was astonished, but I was celebrating because it was exactly how I had described it. 3i Atlas is not transporting any physical crew. It is inhabited by a plasmic bioconsciousness. It is a very ancient being. It is not going to interfere with Earth in any ways, neither physically, neither activating anything. It's following the greater laws of evolution, which is the cosmic law of free will. This dynamics prevents that any interference salvage development of a culture. It is not time we are able on Earth as Terra humans to manage this sort of contact, physical contact with these beings. We need first to overcome certain challenges. But through our consciousness, we are able to interface with this beautiful explorer, plasma being. 3i Atlas has no name as you could imagine a name. It has a frequency that cannot be transcribed in words. And it is willing to make contact because it is scanning everything on its passage. At the moment you are watching this video, this edition of Nation News, 3i Atlas is behind the sun. You cannot see it anymore, but it is very near and you can still interface with it. Bring your awareness towards the sun, where the sun is. Now it is very easy to locate it. It's in the constellation Virgo, it's behind the sun. Do not look directly at the sun with your eyes, but close your eyes and lift your head towards the sun, where the sun is. And it's very easy to locate the sun, even with a star up. It will be under, but you just look under. And you draw your consciousness to make contact with it, and you will. I can guarantee you will. It is willing to communicate. It will not activate anything in you, but it will communicate with you. You will feel who he is, where he comes from, and he may share with you because you will tap into his archives, his mind. He may share with you all the beauties and the knowledge he has come across along his very, very ancient journey. In December 2025, he will come back on the other side of the sun, December 2025. Head for Jupiter, which he will cross around March 2026. And then leave forever. They never come twice in a star system. They travel all the time, all the time. So anybody who think there is a physical crew in it, there isn't. It's an empty vessel. But there is a core plasma being that is really there. And it holds a consciousness. Many of you who connect with 3i Atlas will be able to see visually in their mind's eye, in their pineal gland, which is the mind's eye, the inside. You will see the plasma being. You will see the empty city carved into this rock. Because it's so big, it's like a city inside. And finally, when you will have made contact, I assure you, this is life-changing. Extraterrestrial contact can come in many shapes, many forms. And one form of contact, the most magnificent, is the consciousness contact, the consciousness entanglement. Because we are all fractals of Source Creator, we are all made of the same conscious substance. When you reach out to your inner self, through introspection and meditation, sometimes all it takes is a simple relaxation with some easy music, and you can hear a humming, a frequency, something like a song. It is your song, it is your frequency. And if you really embrace it, fill your body and soul with this frequency, you will be who you are, and you will be able to communicate with whatever is in tune with this frequency, your soul cluster. Your soul cluster may be from Earth, if your consciousness is from Earth, or maybe from other star systems. But if your soul cluster, as you are yourself, is from other star systems, you will make contact with them. Because it is a frequency entanglement. And you will see what they see, you will hear what they hear, you will feel what they feel, and you will think, receive what they think. Contact happens in many ways. It will also happen physically, but for the moment, what we all want is that the humans of Earth raise in consciousness, that they are finally able to step out of judgment, out of fear, out of conflict. And when this time comes, you are ready to integrate the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the greater galactic community as a planetary civilization. Because no matter the time for adjustment, it's okay. It's on a good way, a good road, but you must first do the work. That's how it works. Connect with your own frequency. It is very important. Now it is your time. It is you who take the initiative of making contact. Everywhere around the world, wherever you are, whenever you look at the sky, you will always see more or less about 4 ships. These 4 ships are part of the grid, and it turns. You can see 4 at the same time in the sky. And they pass, and others come. Sometimes there are much more. These are unmanned drone ships from the Federation. Sometimes you can see orbs, sometimes flying saucers, sometimes all sorts of shapes, plasma metamorph spheres or objects. They are all drones reporting images and information to some motherships. The 3 motherships that are on orbit of Earth. XLR6, where Thoran works, is one of them. Go out, look at the sky. You don't need any events or gathering to see ships. You go out, look up, and you will see. It is time humanity embraced the multiplicity of life forms, the oneness of all consciousnesses, in the infinity of space, and the eternity of time. I invite you to look up, and while you enjoy the connection, I will meet you in 7 days for a new edition of Star Nation News.
Analyzing data.
The Hemu, fiery red star, is located 194.84 light years away from Earth. Its system is the home for 7 planets, 4 main worlds, and 3 inhabitable moons, all of them harboring primitive cultures, except for the world on the innermost orbit. The Tarail, as they renamed themselves, arrived as a colony from the Mirzam star system, Beta Canis Majoris. Members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, they remained to this day on space stations hidden to the awareness of the local cultures, which they monitor and protect.
Star Nation News was brought to you by Elena Danan. Don't miss the latest news every Monday on Elena Danan's channel. Video directed by Stefzak.